Welcome to the Burning Pallets Podcast, sponsored by Texsource. Here's your host, Ryan Boland.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Ryan here with the Burning Pallets Podcast, hosted by M&R, sponsored by M&R, whatever you want to call it. Thank you to those guys for having us here at the Long Beach Trade Show, Day 2. A lot of the guys who come to these shows come here every single day. I don't know how they do it. Anyways, got Mike Coey with us, and also an East Coast person, finally.
Wow.
Greg. What?
I said, wow, yeah, that's great, because this is California city up in here.
Yep, we got Greg with us. He is a M&R. You've worked with all kinds of M&R presses. You got all kinds of M&R equipment. But introduce yourself. Tell us your company, where you're from. I know where you're from, but we'll let you.
And all your trade secrets.
Well,
all of them.
I know about you. I know your company, but I'll let you throw it in there.
Okay. Yeah. So my name is Greg Szechenyi. My company Press Merch is out of Roanoke, Virginia, and we've been pumping out shirts for about 23 years now. We are an M&R shop. We've been now for maybe 16 years.
What were you before that?
We just, like whatever manual I could dig up.
What all do you have in the shop?
Right now we have an 8-color Sportsman, a 14-color Sportsman, and a 14-color Cobra.
Like Mike was saying at one point, any shop he goes into, back in his day, when he so let's introduce ourselves. You know me, but Mike, introduce yourself, what you do, where you came from, so that it's not like we're just two random people talking about that.
Yeah, I'm kind of a random person, but I'm the classic guy that's, spent my whole career, probably worked for 15 shops before I got old enough to stick with, and work my way up to bigger companies. So I did 10 years at Adidas between the R&D and sampling department. I did a year prison sentence at Badger Sportswear, printing silicone ink, but learned a lot. And then director of embellishment for Delta Apparel for a year, and then found 7 years running a 5-6 auto shop in South Carolina. And then decided at my age that it was time to
get off the floor.
To get out of the trenches and get into the teaching phase. And Texsource that you're familiar with, obviously. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that I came to first. I was going to find somebody that would take my old ass, but they were that, they take a small shop and they grow with them, and they provide the information and teaching, and they had the YouTube library that goes way back 12 years or something, some of those videos. And so that's where I landed now, working with Ryan and Adam and the crew, teaching classes and I'm dancing on TikTok.
So the M&R, when you would go into these shops and work for them, if you saw the blue machine, you were excited.
Yeah, because I knew that they had the budget to buy a really good press that was well known, and they were the giant. You walk in and it would be like if your buddy's picking you up in a car, you're not gonna, if he's got a little Honda Civic, you're all cool with it, but if he rolls up in a Jaguar, you're like, cool, man, so you just know that usually is these guys are serious. I don't know. I mean, that's a perception I always had of Blue.
So you, how'd you grow the business? I mean, what is your role at Press Merch, and then how did you guys grow from small manuals all the way up to the 4 autos or
3
autos?
Yeah. So I own the company. I started the company basically out of high school.
Yep.
Right. So probably pretty classic story. Just started in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Went to the living room. Went to the garage. Went to the shop. Moved on up. So when I started because I needed merchandise for bands I was playing in. Right. And then got kind of serious with music and got on the road, but realized that A, that might not last too long, and B, I could make a living printing T-shirts, producing T-shirts, and everything else we do now.
Yep.
So I spent the first few years building up my clients, building up relationships, and kind of building that foundation.
You've done it well. I mean, like Mike was saying, Texsource would always start with the small shops, and we like to grow with them. I mean, every screen printer starts somewhere, and just like you, for example, started in your bedroom, a small, probably one color, one station or something, or the mom and pops that has a Crickets in the vinyl shops. That's everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah.
And you grow, and you've grown it successfully. I mean, you said 23 years, right? I mean, that's
I
a
was
long
going
time.
to say, did you start when you were like 7?
Yeah, I was three and a half.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, you start somewhere, and that's where we like to grow with people, and then it's just a great story to see that you are now 3 autos, and you said, what's the biggest one? 18 color, right? That's or
no, 14 color.
The Cobra.
Yeah,
Cobra. I mean, that's great. What do you think has helped you get that far? Keeping relationships with your vendors, I mean, or your customers, keeping them attracted to wanting you to print for them. I mean,
so
that's a long time.
It is, yeah, and it's reputation, it's follow through, it's the quality of the product, but ultimately the quality of relationship that we try to develop with our clients. But I have clients I've worked with for 15, 16 years, just forever.
Yeah.
And it's not, I mean, we mess up from time to time, right? But that relationship is so strong by that point that we're able to maintain. They're gonna refer their buddies, right? So yeah,
it's still a word of mouth business a lot.
In a major way, yeah.
Yeah, and so the balance of like, it's one thing to be a really good printer and to have sales, but one part that I have to admit, like that I was weak on, is understanding like what percentage I need to be paying for my cost of goods, what I need to be charging, what percentage needs to go to pay the employees, overhead. I mean, was that tough to figure out that balance there so that you could be profitable? Because there's great screen printers that just go out of business because they don't have their numbers right.
Yeah, I think that's really hard. It's really hard for me because I just like to do, right? I like to get my hands dirty. I like to print.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't, even at this stage, I still try to do it, but I shouldn't. But even way early on, I should have let my team, who's excellent and I can trust, do their thing and fall back. There's so many excellent people, helpful people in the industry. So when I have those questions, what should I be charging, or what is my profit margin, or should be my profit margin? It's easy to find those answers. So what typically my flow has been is I'll get to a point where I look back, I said, man, like we did not net enough this year.
Yeah.
Period. What happened? And then I have to spend a month in this deep dive situation of revamping everything.
Yeah.
Do we have the right employees doing the right things? Are we paying the right amount of money? Are we charging the right price for what we're doing? So yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there.
Yeah.
And I think the quality of your customers has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
I always classified the people coming in for the cheap thing. Those were the grinders that I tried to avoid.
Yeah.
I wasn't afraid of firing customers. Like when you look at your list of your best customers, down to that bottom third is got to go, And I'm not talking about the guy who comes in and gets 200 family reunion shirts, but the ones that require so much attention with very little, gain on the other side.
Yeah.
And then I would look at those top ones and say, I need more people like these. Like this brewery is killing it. Let's go get more breweries.
Mm-hmm.
This restaurant chain, killing it. Let's get more of those.
Yeah.
And because I didn't have a roadmap on that business side, and that's something I lacked big time. But I was like you. I love the process. I love like the printing.
Yeah.
I still get a kick out of printing, and I can do that at Texsource now. I did the Betty White with a 45 shirt. My
That's
one
great.
screen challenge. Because I like it still in its form of art.
Yeah.
Like I'm creating something.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that business side gets doesn't get the attention that it really needs.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's hard to find that. You have to go digging, right?
You do. Yeah.
So like you were saying, you still have to pull yourself back sometimes from going out into the shop and doing the printing, and you probably still do out there and then the reclaim room and do that part. And you were saying you have to pull yourself back sometimes and not always be in that position because you have other hats to wear, but also being able to trust the other people around you to do the right job. So again, a lot of these interviews we've had, or podcasts, or whatever we're calling it, a lot of the people it's talking about employees and how important employees are, and having a good balance to everybody. And that's a big thing.
Yeah, I've lucked out in such a major way with the guys and girls who work at Press. You know, I talked to some of the people at work about stuff outside of work this week, but otherwise I didn't hear a peep. You know, and I know
that's good when you're home for a whole week.
Yeah,
and you don't have 15 phone calls.
Yeah, I can watch the schedule and see the job's getting done, and the place is not burned down.
Yeah,
you know, we're in good shape. I'm lucky. I'm really, really lucky.
Now
there's probably something that happened. They're like, I'm glad the boss is not here. You know, like they had to fix it.
100%.
It was one of those things where like you scorch some white shirts and somebody runs down and starts spraying them with the
scorch you do or scorch whatever.
Well, no, the real stuff that people buy. The scorch you do, I mean, we all know what that is, right?
But I had another question I was bringing up. It was good. Keep going. But it had to do with you not being at the office, not getting phone calls.
Where you're going down the path of him, like, fighting, like, not being out there on the floor.
No, it was something good, too. And I got sidetracked on Scorchy-Doo, and I should have never even talked about it.
Scorchy-Doo. And now a message from our sponsors, Scorchy-Doo.
And you're right, it's crap. And it's not crap, but it's...
Yeah, I know, but it's sort of a gimmicky name. Go ahead.
The new MPR system through M&R. Are you able to use that? The manufacturing reporting,
process reporting. We just made up what it was. Manufacturing process reporting.
No, I saw the slide.
Oh,
no, I have not. No.
Okay, I think it's a new thing that they're testing and or been testing. But so I was thinking that because you hadn't had any phone calls and you're still able to look at your reports, that might be one of the things that you use to keep it.
Oh, no, it's not. But
they write it on a dry erase board and they take snapshots and send him photos every day.
Nice, but that's the NPR is some kind of new system that it's not new. I keep saying new. A system that M&R has that goes onto their machines in each head, and it reports back to, let's keep it simplified, to a desktop in the
dashboard,
dashboard in the manager's office, and it tells them when the press is moving, how many pieces are going or being printed, and just that type of stuff.
Oh yeah, no, that sounds awesome, but we're not there yet. We're not using that.
We'll get you on it.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
We appreciate it.
Sign him up as a beta tester, Peter. Come on, Peter. We need some more people here. It does sound interesting, and it seems like the last guys we had on that helped develop that through the beta version, they lived outside Roselle. Is it Roselle? Chicago?
Roselle.
Roselle?
Yeah.
Why do I always associate that town with UFOs? Why? I don't know why, but I see that and I'm like,
that's
UFOs.
Roswell.
I know.
Oh.
I can't get it out of my mind. I think UFOs. Sorry.
Side note, when Greg walked in, his jacket was wet, and he said that it is pouring rain outside.
Yeah, I saw that in the forecast.
And we're in California, where it never rains.
I know. I'm super bummed. I came here for the sun.
Have you done anything interesting while you've been here, or just trade show?
Just trade show. Yeah.
When did you get in?
I went to a Kings game on wherever I got off the plane, went straight to a Kings game. So I did do that. That was
we
amazing.
can try to sneak you into one of like these vendor parties or something, maybe.
Oh, well, I went to a shirt show thing last night. That was fun.
Okay, yeah. So you got to play in that realm.
Yeah, right? yeah. I got to hang out with my buds. And
did you learn anything about people once the poison hit?
Yeah. No, we unfortunately didn't stay long enough.
I found out last night that Adam, our engineer, he loves me.
Oh.
And I had been waiting for, I've worked there a year.
Did he say it to you directly, or
yeah.
You heard around about it?
It's like that kind of that super bad moment where it's like, I love you, man.
Sure.
And I told him, I'm like, I'm kind of hurt. I've been there a year.
Yeah.
We're tight. We work together. But
it's nice to hear that anytime you hear it, though.
Yes, but it took the Avient mixer.
The courage.
The tears were shed.
Yeah, tears were shed. Yes.
Yeah,
oh man,
there was a good amount of tequila drink. I mean, I don't know what it's been about tequila at this trip, but that's sad.
Yeah.
Well, it's California, right? Should be tequila's the capital of tequila. with all the California style taco stands, and
True.
It's just
So back to Press merch. How many employees do you guys have? And Mike always had a question about the difference between a press operator
and a printer.
And a printer. I mean,
Okay.
and that's a big thing. You got to know the difference. You got to spot the difference when in the hiring process to keep you successful and running, and for you to not get phone calls while you're in California.
Yeah. Well, so we have 25 employees, and hiring is probably the hardest thing that we have to do. And I've stepped back from that. There are people at Press who are better at it than I am. So I try not to get involved.
Which is important, I mean, as a business owner, to be able to know your strengths and weaknesses, let certain people take the roles on certain things.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But hiring somebody and identifying a press operator, like during the interview, I don't know, is that possible? Has somebody done that?
There is some signs.
Okay.
Right. A lot of, press operators are like vagabonds. They
Right.
drift around. They've worked in every shop in town.
Right.
Right. And, gosh, I don't want to shade it, but I need to be honest here, right?
Sure.
A lot of times there's some problems in there,
You mean like they're bringing
there's some baggage
Their
comes with some baggage.
Sure.
I knew one guy that, he would have to bail his operators out sometimes to get them back to work on Monday and help finance to fight that public intoxication charge, right? And that's just, we're skimming the surface
Sure.
here. But there's identifiers where some people, they're just in it and they can't get out, and they're coming to you, and you're going to let them work, and as long as they can produce, then they may 6 months from now they may fall aside. So you've got those people that rotate in and out. But it's really hard to find someone that has the passion, that wants to go from I just load and hit the buttons to I want to understand the dynamics of a triple durometer and the angle, and that you have to be really into that. And so the last guys that were like industry guys, and they were all about this management, and it was a really good podcast. When you say, Ryan, these last cats, right?
Yeah, it was different. Yeah.
And,
Nice.
and so that's, they dedicated themselves to giving a pathway for people that wanted to become this skilled. But it takes a certain type of person to be like, this is what I do, and I love it. You have to love it, because when you're running 2,001 shirts, it gets kind of
you also have to love it if you've been in it for 23 years.
Well, yeah, I do absolutely I love it so much. Yeah. Everything about it.
The decorating, the creating.
It's cool. It's
It
still
is-
cool.
it
after
is
all
cool,
these
man.
years.
It is cool.
Did you grab that band niche?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Absolutely. That's what we do today. That's every
Dude,
every
you
ounce
run
I
a
do.
cool shop.
I try
right?
to. Yeah, I try to run a fun shop.
Yeah, that helps. Believe
Yeah.
it or not, that helps when people are like, and I'm going to make up a new name, but if you're printing Don's gutter service, we're printing that.
It's the same old, same
Silly,
old.
yeah, the same cookie cutter stuff.
I'm sure
but
his-
when you're
his
printing
stuff
some
is-
badass stuff, people like that.
Sure.
And they want to wear it, and
With it being bands, I'm sure those logos and what you're decorating is, like Mike's saying, is really, really cool. I mean,
Yeah.
it's. What about the DTF, direct to film? Everybody knows about it.
Sure.
Is that something you foresee in your future? I mean, is it something that's helpful when you doing bands? I'm sure you have 10, 15 color jobs that you're doing in printing. So, I mean...
Yeah, so we'll still screen print those, but we still have a pretty good amount of business that's done locally, so schools and restaurants, churches, everything else. So we have a sector of that. And DTF has been a huge part of that for us. And we still roll some DTF into some of the work we do with our musicians if it needs it for one reason or another. But
So you have a direct-to-film machine, right?
no. We just order.
Okay.
We order them.
Is that something, I mean...
Bringing one in?
That's just...
Would you like to sign a deal today?
No.
Do you have a contract?
We're not sellers. We're burning podcasts.
I know.
Burning pallets. I'm sure you burn many pallets in your days.
No.
No?
Oh, of course I have.
Okay.
My first shop, I really very came close to burning it down. With just that, yeah.
Is it a wooden pallet or the aluminum?
It was definitely wooden.
Wooden?
Yeah. I mean, that thing was on fire.
Yeah, the wooden ones are cool because the plastic coating on them, they'll bubble.
Yeah, that's nice.
Right, and it'll form like these blisters. I mean, it looks like a bad wound.
Yeah.
And then the bubbles will pop, and then the wood will start burning. Like I'm very and but they don't stink nearly as bad as aluminum, a rubber-topped aluminum pallet. That some guys will admit that they just they had to just leave, never come back.
I will die still being able to recall the smell of a burning wooden pallet.
Yeah.
It just will never leave me.
Yeah,
and that's how we came up with the name, or Adam actually came up with the name.
And it resonates with people that really know.
Yeah.
And Adam, we have to thank Adam because Adam's not a printer, but how clever is this guy? He won't admit that
Thanks,
AI
Adam.
helped.
Dwayne hates the name.
Who?
Dwayne absolutely abhors
That means
it.
it's good.
He can't stand it, but I'm like, this was genius.
But you don't foresee you needing. You were ordering direct to film.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, I know the price points of it. Never really needing, because I'm sure you're ever expanding your shop and you're continuing to move forward, and not standing still. Is that something you don't ever see yourself?
No, I would never say never, right?
Yeah.
So right now, today, as I see it, I don't see us needing one.
Yep.
But I really, really dislike not having control over what I'm producing, and I realize that I'm never going to bring patch production in-house. It's just never going to make sense. But something like a DTF, we could get to the point where we're using enough of that where it just makes sense to have it in-house. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's very interesting to see the ways that people use DTF.
Yeah.
I started using them for neck labels, was making killer money off of cheap trucker hats with, 30 cents in each DTF on a gang sheet.
Yeah.
And still giving a damn good price to people that were selling them retail.
Yeah.
If you could go direct to retail, you got $4 and $20.
You're crushing it, buddy.
That's some killer money there. So it has fit its way into our industry.
Yeah.
And now everybody has it. Some of the guys that started out just printing hundreds of feet a week, they're slowing down because everybody else is buying them.
Yeah.
But I gather to say this is that go into any Facebook group about DTF, go into DTF Superstore's Facebook, go into any one of those, and it's just nothing but, oh my God, this is, how do you, please help me, because of all the problems. So it comes with, you got to have a game on, like, I got to keep this machine running. And for newbies, they don't understand the dynamics that, it's like an inkjet printer. Don't run it for a couple days, good luck. So,
that's one reason I wouldn't want to bring one in. You have to run it all the time. I mean, it's...
Yeah. And I think we're going to get one. And guess who's going to be running that son of a bitch? It's going to be me. I'm going to have to come in every Saturday and Sunday just to, head check.
So, we got plans to bring in a bunch of equipment for showroom.
Sure.
So that DTF is not going to be ran. It's just going to be sitting there looking pretty.
Please write down the time code there because I want to bring this to, when I get the bad news in the future. And I'm like, remember what was said.
Side note, so I know M&R came to your shop. M&R is doing this little Blue Crew run. Interviewing, coming to shops who have multiple autos and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
How was that? And it kind of made me think you went to the hockey game.
Yeah.
And then in M&R footage that they did with you, that y'all went to a hockey rink as well. Are you just a big hockey fan, hockey player in the past?
Big hockey fan, and I play a lot of hockey, and I just love it so much.
I wish I could. I mean, I would have loved to play hockey, but it was not big in Charlotte or in that area. I mean, you got to be in a certain region for it to be big.
Yeah. Now now there's a lot more support for it in smaller communities, so you can find it if you want to.
Yeah.
But it was cool. I mean, I found out Maggie used to figure skate, and so we thought it'd be funny if...
That's what it was,
That's funny.
Yeah. So I have friends at the rink, and we just called and got some rental skates, and they let us on the ice for a minute. It was fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
You have friends at the rink.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So So that we have a minor league team in town, so I do
gotcha.
all the work for those guys.
Yeah.
I'm really close with everybody
In
there.
another niche market for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that I don't really want to pursue that as much.
Yeah.
I just want to do that one team because they're local.
Yeah.
Music is really what I want to put my efforts into.
But
Yeah.
that was cool that they're doing all the. I don't know. Is it Blue Crew? I don't know what it's called, but they came to your shop.
Yeah.
They just do like a quick bio, a couple days or one day, and they did a bunch of shops here in California as well. Bios on
There she is right there.
Yes.
bios on all of the shops and their equipment, and then Brian Rapp, the salesman, ended up being there, and I saw him on the video as well.
Yeah, it was
And-
cool, man. It was so fun. Everybody at the shop was they had a lot of fun, but they're just really proud, of the fact that this is we've moved into this new building because we just moved in 4 months before,
Yep.
and all of these changes were happening, and it just felt good, and that was kind of cherry on top to have that celebration of the press.
It was. And I had another thought, and now I'm losing my train of thought. We're talking to so many different people. But with Brian Rapp, I'm losing my train of thought on a lot of things.
There he is.
That was another good one.
Yeah.
I bet.
Him and his wife, they were really good.
I bet. Okay. Yep. Sounds good. Thank you.
They were really good too. They like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We did a podcast with them.
Yeah,
And
they're great.
Yeah, we had two M&R customers, both from Arkansas yesterday. So that was interesting.
They're from Arkansas.
Yeah.
They were.
Yeah.
And so here's what I'm getting at. Peter, you wouldn't think that he would be into social media and all that type of stuff with his age. He's the one who was pushing these ventures to all the shops to interview guys.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool that he's still involved in pushing the social media aspect of everything.
Yeah, I couldn't think higher of Peter. I think he's an absolute genius. I think he's hilarious. I mean, he's so supportive.
He is a true gem in this industry, and I've known him for like 20 years or so, and he's always just he's an Aussie, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's very like endearing and just delightful.
Absolutely.
I mean,
100%.
I don't think there's a word that can truly encapsulate how lovely of a man this guy is.
And for him to keep running around these shows, he's trucking through the shows. He was printing over here yesterday.
He moved the press like a foot yesterday, crawled underneath there and like put it on his back like a turtle and just like moved that thing. I'm like, holy crap. And then he starts screen printing. I'm like, okay, Peter, this is... I've known him a long time.
Yeah, he's great.
He is completely all what we build him up to be.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
And I'm going to send him a clip of what I just said there.
Yeah.
Bet your
Specifically
ass.
of that short.
Yeah. Our dialogue back and forth, that's going to be just a whole ass TikTok video.
This is going to be a really useful interview for you with the earlier clip and now that one.
Oh, yeah.
This is great.
I'll make a highlight reel just talking about Peter.
Yeah.
And M&R is going to get all of this stuff too. This is kind of a collaboration with our show and theirs, so that they can pull some shorts out of that. And
cool.
It's a great win for all of us. And I know Texsource. I'm saying if I was another distributor, I'd be a little jealous right now. I'd be like, why are them guys getting why they got this podcast over there? Because you don't have one, that's why. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't get into that. That's
I'm sorry. I am so, it's an honor to be a part of this and this opportunity for us. I mean, it's a daunting task. We did 10 yesterday, and are we on number 3, 4? 4. We're on number 4 today, so we're clicking at a pretty good pace here.
Yeah, that's aggressive.
When my voice goes out, then Ryan is going to have to do a solo.
I will pick it up. I will be good. I appreciate you coming on. I mean, I know Peter, Maggie set you up and wanted to get you to come on this and talk to you about your shop, how you're truly another Cinderella story, going from your in your bedroom to the garage, or from the basement to the garage to up to the 3-4 autos. I mean, and you're going to continue to grow, and you found that niche.
Yeah.
Like a lot of screen printers do, find that niche market, bands.
Yeah.
I mean, it's big. So
it's an incredible industry. I love it.
It's
so fun.
And everybody knows everybody. All screen printers trying to help each other. I mean, it's really
it's
great.
unique, right? It's so special.
It is.
Yeah.
This industry is wild.
Who would have thought? I mean, like it is.
Yeah.
And screen printers, when they get together, they can just talk for hours. You know, there's all the stories and the war stories and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But like you obviously had a passion for music,
Yeah.
and then to find a niche that lets you still
Yeah.
be part of that.
Yeah.
Because you understand who they are and what they like. So that's what a lot of people parlay their passion into a business. In screen printing, it's a way of expressing your passion. So that's cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Appreciate you coming on, taking your time.
Thank you so
much. Sharing your story. And catch you guys next time.
All right.
See you.